So, welcome back. Okay, so let's start with this. So, in this, the first project, it is about getting a database with context and finally um, deploying in on render, like testing. So, the first thing I do was in a terminal. Here's a terminal. So, in a terminal, I was just creating, I installed Mongo version. I did it in the setup date, setup assignment. However, I wanted to get sure that I had Mongo um, and all the rest of the files and programs. So as you can see here in my terminal, hold on, huh? There you go. Well, yeah, I use all this. I installed npm. I made a folder. So the folder is here. Where is the folder at? There we go. Here it is. The folder. Well, I made a folder for the project. Therefore, a program like this, a file, sorry, and JSON file was created. So I had to add the author and the URL to GitHub and type, and many things like that. So after I did that, I had to create a server, JavaScript. By the way, I added the main here. I set up the server.js to be like the main file to work with. So I made it, and here I installed Express. So it's somewhere here in the terminal when I think, well, here npm I of that stands for install Express and so on. Here you can see that I'm declaring the port to work with, the port 3000, and so yeah, this is for the database. After creating this file, I tested with some other information that it ain't here anymore. It was here in the index, in the rows, in the index. It does. It was, well. It says like "Hello World," but I deleted. Um, then I had to create a folder roots in the index. So you have here like the constant, the root, and also here this roots, and I export router in order to to work with the files in the root. So here in contacts, um, these are the ways to work with the brain. Server is like the presentation file. It doesn't contain the brain, but it contains like the way that is gonna be uh, displayed on the server. So yeah, the brain, or as it is mentioned, is in controllers, is in contacts. So here in contacts and inside of controllers folder, um, you can call the information you want to be displayed to. In this case, we are using a database. So after I made this, I had to call a database. Well, I had to call a database. So here in the data, I create this file and this folder called data. And where is it at? No, it isn't here. Oh, man. There you go. So here I create a database, in the cluster, rows collectors and collections, sorry. Here is the information. There are 4 contacts. I clicked on insert document and I click on the JSON file, and I was able to add information. So those you can see here, the 4 contacts: first name, last name, email, favorite color, birthday. So after I did that, I had to call them on the program. So in order to do that, We can I installed npm I there we go, it is, there it is, npm I mongodb mongodb, sorry. So yeah, and then I was just trying and trying and trying, and many things didn't work out until, well, here I had a problem with this word when I called it, the way I called it in the server GS, it was MongoDB, and here at database GS, I was calling it in this way, like Mongo only, but I had to add DB, and everything worked perfectly well. Um, so yeah, something very important is here the end. So here I call the information, this is the URL to connect with Mongo. Um, so yeah, and after this slash is the database name, Project1. Um, what else? So yeah, that's pretty much the way it works and the way I did it.